4 years ago, my brother went missing. There was nothing to prompt it. At 24, he was a good guy. He got top marks in school and uni, stayed clean, was very well built, and had only one girlfriend who he was still dating up until the time he went missing. I say good because he was horrible to me, and being a pathological liar and a master of manipulation, he got away with practically torturing me for years. He was 10 years older than me, and it never stopped. I got seriously injured by him up until the day he went missing. He always told me he hated me, and enjoyed every bit of pain he put me through. I tried telling people when I was younger, but everyone believed him, never me. Eventually, I stopped trying. The day he went missing was the greatest and most satisfying day I've ever lived. My brother returned after going missing for 4 years. If he really came back, I'm in huge danger. His car was still parked in the driveway. His wallet and phone were on his desk, and his keys in the bowl by the entrance. Police had very little to go off of. It was like he simply vanished. After a year or so, everyone but my mom gave up on the search for him, figuring him to be dead. She, like any good mother, remained hopeful. Everyone else knew better. I knew better. He showed up early in the morning, dropped off by a mysterious black sedan with tinted windows in front of our house. According to our CCTV, we couldn't catch the license plate and had no idea where the car came from or where it went. My brother came out in the same clothes he went missing in, obviously well nourished with his clothes clean, except for an old blackened stain on his chest, which people assumed was from the chili he ate the morning he went missing, and dirt on his shoes. The huge mystery came when he knew absolutely nothing. His memory cut the day he went missing, and resumed the second he stepped back out of the cab of the car. He thought he was still 24, and honestly, he could have been. A time skip was not one of the more outlandish theories the town had, considering everyone seemed to nod in agreement to aliens. Of course, his room was the same. My mom made sure no one touched it when he left for uni, and when he came back and then went missing, she did the same thing. She was so convinced that he would return that she allowed no one to move anything. She was devastated and heartbroken, so my dad and I just went along with it. The first night he came back, he spent it in the house. My brother returned after going missing for 4 years. If he really came back, I'm in huge danger. I've always had my fun with you, but never got to finish the job. I woke up suddenly in the middle of the night to him standing at the foot of my bed. He was looking down at me, with a huge grin on his face. Literally, it was a huge grin, curling way too unnaturally, and twice as large as a normal mouth, as if the corners were cut with a razor. My lamp was knocked over by my door, and was under him, leaving a light shining up towards him, creating shadows going upward on his face, leaving black areas between his eyebrows and cheekbones for both eyes. The eyes, although they were in void, the eyes were still visible somehow. It was as if they were emitting a soft light underneath the surface. They were glassy and glazed over, completely lacking blood and life. He was still wearing the same shirt and pants he went missing in, and the stain on his shirt looked menacing in the light. It looked oozing, pulsing, crawling, as if filled with worms and maggots. His hands and arms were at his side, swaying gently with rage. In his right hand was a knife that looked sickly familiar. I knew that knife all too well. He moved his arm to hold the knife above his head. He lunged toward me from the end of the bed, before I could form any words or cite for help in my mouth. And just as the knife was about to plunge into my chest, I woke up. I jolted in my bed, sitting upright, blood pumping with icy cold liquid coming from a heart frozen in terror. I felt cold and hot at the same time, feeling nauseous and shaking everywhere. I began to feel bile forming in my throat, so I moved my feet to the side of my bed to go to the bathroom. That's when I noticed it. There was the knife laying on the floor, and the lamp at the foot of my bed. At this point, I run to the bathroom to do my business. After I'm done, I'm still shaking, so I splash my face with cool water. It seems to do the trick for a little, so I head back to my bed. The door was closed, which was wrong since I left it open to go to the bathroom, using the light from my room to navigate the hall. I walk in to see him back in my room, this time sitting on my desk chair next to my bed, twirling the same knife on his fingertips. My brother returned after going missing for 4 years. If he really came back, I'm in huge danger. I stood there, still frozen, before the fight or flight response kicked in. I was going to kill you the night I went missing, he said, with that same unnatural grin on his face, with way too many teeth. But obviously, you knew that. Now, the response kicked in. I hightailed it out of there and slammed the door shut behind me to buy me some time. As I heard something inside the room shuffle to its feet, I bolted down the stairs to the front door, ready to grab my keys and spend the night anywhere else but where he was. As I put my hand in the bowl, I felt a lifeless hand already there. "Looking for these?" he said slyly. He was dangling the keys in front of me, and I was briefly left wondering, how the hell did he get here before me? How the hell is he even here? The thought took only a nanosecond before I ran to the back door, prepared to make the journey on foot. I pushed out of the door and started to run for the woods. Yeah, I know, that's a horror cliche, but it's what I did. I heard the door open behind me. I knew he was close on my heels. I felt the familiar deja vu feeling, as I realized the events were almost exactly the same as the night he went missing. He chased me then too. He didn't have a knife then though. He thought his fists would be enough. He was wrong. As soon as I stepped into the boundary of the woods where the fateful event occurred, I turned around to see that he wasn't chasing me anymore. Instead, the knife lay on the grass in a pool of blood right outside of the woods. My brother returned after going missing for 4 years. If he really came back, I'm in huge danger. Because that night, I had the knife, and I finished the job.